Hi there, I'm out in the woods today, so I thought it'd be a great opportunity to make a video. I've got a new bit of kit that I want to share with you. It's the Aeropress Flow Control Filter Cap. Full disclosure, Aeropress sent me this. I've had it for about 2 weeks now, so I have used it a few times. Aeropress aren't paying me to make this video, and they don't get to see it until it goes live when everyone else gets to see it as well. So yeah, I've been meaning to make a video for a wee while on this now, so I've had it a few weeks and used it a lot. And I thought, you know what? I think it's going to work really well with the Aeropress Go. I think the two should complement each other really, really well. So where better to make coffee than outside with the Aeropress Go. So I've got some water on, it's boiling away. I'm going to be doing a real simple brew today. I'm going to be using time, but I'm not going to be using any volume measurements. I don't have any scales with me. I'm going to be using the Aeropress in its most raw state with the addition of the flow control cap. I've also got some coffee here from Dow and Fawn. I'll stick a link below. No affiliate to these guys, just really, really like their coffee and like to support local roasters. So check these guys out, Dow and Fawn. They're located at Woburn in Buckinghamshire, but they do deliver as well. This isn't a coffee review today, this is a review of the flow cap, but a bit of a plug, awesome. Okay, so my water's on. As I say, I think it's actually just coming up to the boil, so I'm going to turn that off while we set ourselves up. And while we're brewing, we can talk about the flow cap. So I've got the original cap. I'm going to put that to one side because we don't need that today. Okay. So I'm sure everyone's seen the Aeropress. This is the Go version. It's just the mini version, a little bit smaller. Comes with cup, the Aeropress, and some tools as well. You've got your scoop and your stirrer. I carry my papers separately because I find that my Aeropress generally stays quite wet after I've used it. I don't want to put papers back in there, so I always carry my papers separately. Okay. So in the box, you get just the flow cap and nothing else. There was a little bit of red cardboard in there, obviously I've taken that out. What's unique about it? So it's got a little release valve in the center. If you've seen anything on the Prismo, if you have a Prismo, or you've seen any videos on it, it's pretty much exactly the same. Where it differs is on the inside of it. You don't have a metal filter. You have these little grooves. I'll stick a picture up here somewhere. You've got these little grooves, and what they do is actually stop the paper from sticking to the flow control valve. The Prismo doesn't have that. You have to have the metal filter in there, even if you're using paper. Because if you don't, the paper will bung up the control valve. So I'm going to stick my paper in there. This works with the Aeropress and the Aeropress Go. It doesn't work with the XL because it's not big enough. But it does work with all the other Aeropresses. So you just stick your bit of paper in, like so, and then screw on to your Aeropress. And give it a bit of a twist just to make sure it's in place. Okay. Now obviously one of the great things is you don't have to put your mug on top of your cup. You can just stand it up on a table surface, or in my case a tree. Alright, I've taken my water just off the boil there. I say there's no temperatures, there's no scales. I'm only using time as the only variable. I guess the control is time, and that's because I do a 2.5 minute brew. A little bit of a rinse, and we'll just throw that away. Okay, so today I'm going to be using 1 scoop of my coffee, and approximate scoop is around 14 grams of coffee, depending on what style. If you're using a light roast or a dark roast, it's going to vary. This is a medium roast coffee, and it's a fairly finish grind, just before espresso, so sort of between medium and fine. I prefer it on the finer end of the spectrum for myself with my Aeropress. So stick that in, job done. So it's a medium roast, so my water temperature, it can be off the boil. That's absolutely fine. Alrighty, I've got my timer. I'm going to start that. 2.5 minutes. Here we go. Yep. And go. Okay, so I'm going to add just enough water to cover the coffee, and then I like to give it a really good swizzle just to make sure all the grinds are wet. And then I'm going to let that sit for around 20 seconds or so, just to let that bloom. Because it's a flow control cap, obviously it's not dripping out at the moment, which is wonderful. We'll come back to that a little bit later on. We've got 4, 3, 2, and then I'm going to go about halfway. Put my water down, get my paddle, which is there. I do like this paddle, I think it's very smart. Give it 10 stirs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kind of James Hoffman meets Alan from Aeropress meets my own variation. And then I'm going to top that up like so. Now, again, because it's got the flow control cap, it doesn't drip. You can plug it if you want. It will create the vacuum. But remember, if you do plug it, a little bit of coffee is going to spurt out. So I'm going to plug it. Oh, a little bit of drip there. Oh no, made a right old mess of that. Alright, so I plugged it. Now obviously you can't see that at the moment, but believe me, it's still there. A little bit of dripping. Alright, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so I've been using this now for 2 weeks, and I quite like the concept behind it. I do have a Prismo as well, and I'm going to do some back-to-back reviews and research on it. It does leak a little bit though, which I'm going to show you in about a minute's time when I plunge. It doesn't seal particularly well when you put it in and twist. You have to twist up nice and tight, as you probably would normally do. As you plunge, water and coffee does seem to seep out of the edges. I don't know if that's a one-off. I don't know if that's an issue in design, but there is a little bit of leakage. It doesn't leak from the nozzle itself. Oh, there's a little bit of coffee dripping. It doesn't tend to leak from the nozzle. It tends to leak from the outside. So we've got another 10 seconds or so. So for the last 10 seconds, I'm going to give it a little bit of a squeeze just to get those grounds to start floating down towards the bottom of the Aeropress. 2, 1, and I'm going to plunge. Alright. So it's coming out quite forcefully. You can really hear it hissing through. But it doesn't take any real effort. There's no more effort than there would be if you was using the regular filter cap. But it does sound a bit more dramatic. We're going to bring it through till we get to the hiss, which is just there, and we're going to stop, lift it up, and voila, there we go. There's a little bit of dripping. I made a bit of a mess when I put the top cap on. I might have overflowed it a wee bit. It's not the end of the world. There has been a little bit of leakage on the outside. Not so much today, so that's quite good. And there's been no leakage from the actual center cap. So there is a little bit. So be aware, if you do get one of these caps, you've got to fit it fairly firm. Maybe use 2 papers. I don't know. I haven't tried that yet. It's something I need to work on. Or maybe even use the cone that the original Aeropress, if you've still got one of those, that funnel that we all miss in the box of the new ones. Okay, so obviously the Aeropress Go delivers about half a cup. So I'm going to do something a little bit naughty. I'm going to add just a wee bit of hot water just to top it up because I like a bit more drink. Okay, so my next point with the flow control cap is cleaning. Unlike the regular filter cap, which is there, when you take it off, the paper is normally left behind, and then obviously you can just push out your coffee straight into the bin or your recycle, whatever you do with it, stick it on the garden. With this, lift up the cap and the paper stays in place. It's stuck inside the filter cap. Obviously the rest of the coffee is there. We've got a nice puck. Everyone likes a bit of a puck. There we go, put that to one side. So to get the paper out, you can bash it. You've got to give it a good old bash on the side of the bin, like a knock box or something similar. But if you don't have a knock box, you do need to give it a bit of a bash on the side. Alternatively, you can get a spoon, which I don't have. I will use the paddle, and you can just scrape the edge, pull the paper out like so, and then dispose of the way you should. I shall be taking that home. I won't be leaving it in the woodland. The coffee grinds can stay there fine. Okay, so there we have it. There is the flow control cap. In the box, or on the box, it does talk about sort of brewing concepts, and it's got a lovely picture of what is clearly an espresso. I suspect it wasn't made using this, because in all the coffees that I've brewed in all manners of different pressures that I've used, I've got no crema. I've barely got a bubble, let alone any sign of crema. But the box does show a very lovely espresso drink there. Dubious about that one. Is it revolutionary? I don't think it is. Because obviously the Prismo's been around for some time now and it does exactly the same thing. So that's my take on it. Can I recommend it? No, not yet. I think it needs to have some changes to it. I think it needs some sort of sealing to stop the liquid coming up the edge and over the edge, because it has leaked in almost every brew that I've made. Am I going to keep using it? Yes, I am. Yes, I am actually. And I'm actually going to gift this as well to a friend of mine who has, they have an issue with the amount of water that drips straight into the cup. So I'm actually going to gift this to them and let them play around with it as well. So thank you very much for joining me on this video. I'm going to stay in the woods here and enjoy my coffee. I've got a little biscotti biscuit to go with it as well. I'm just going to enjoy a bit of peace and quiet. So thank you, and I'll catch you again soon. Cheerio.